Okay, day number 2, subordinate clauses. Okay, so on Friday. It's so weird we had school on Friday, right? I keep saying Thursday. But anyway, on Friday, we started this worksheet and we did the first 3 sentences and then the bell rang and we were done for the week. Today, we're picking it back up. So we're going to have some more practices on complex and compound complex sentences this week. But Wednesday, I'm going to give you your assignment for this task, and you're going to work on that on Thursday and Monday. Okay? So, let's look at our, let's see, what card do you have rules for sentences on? Is yours on pink?
Yes.
Okay. Main clause equals independent clause, subject plus predicate. And if we cover up the subordinator, we should still have a complete sentence unless the subordinator is a pronoun. And then you also wrote down the number of subject and verb pairs tells us what kind of sentence we have, right?
Focus or something?
I know you can't see it because it's, yeah, the paper doesn't. You don't want to read this anyway. It's a boy's handwriting. You can barely read it anyway.
What's that supposed to mean?
Yeah. It was pretty clear what it meant, I think.
Oh, wow.
I mean, I ain't arguing.
Yeah,
That's
no,
true.
no, it's true.
Okay.
But still.
Gus's handwriting.
You just don't want me to say it out loud?
Yeah, it still kind of hurts.
There are some girls who have quite sloppy handwriting
Oh,
also.
Dylan would.
Okay. Let's do a couple of practices here. Then I'm going to let you work with your partner.
Hi,
Yes,
Dylan.
sorry, Dylan.
Hi, Dylan.
Okay, ready? We're going to go through our steps, step by step. So what's step number 1?
Draw a line under
Cross out
the-
prepositional phrases.
Cross out prepositional phrases. Although English is my favorite subject, I also like algebra.
Also, like algebra.
Prepositions?
Is.
No prepositions. Is not a preposition. It's a verb. Okay, so step number 2. What are the verbs?
Is.
And
Like.
Like.
Also like.
also is an adverb.
So like.
Who likes?
I am
And what is?
English.
Is there a subordinator?
Although.
Yep. If I cover up although, do I have a sentence? English is my favorite subject.
Yeah.
So what do I circle?
Although. Or, I also like algebra. Wait, what? What are we supposed to circle?
Although English is my favorite subject.
Number 5. Prepositions. We can go to the mall unless you are too busy.
to the mall.
Okay.
To the beach.
Verbs
Go.
Are.
can go and are. Who can go?
Me.
Who is too busy?
You.
Subordinator.
Unless.
Good.
Too busy.
Number 6. Madeline is from a part of France where few people speak English.
Up for you.
Okay. Verbs.
Is. And speak.
Who speaks?
People.
Who is? Subordinator.
Where.
Good, because it's a WH word. Number 7. This is a trick. The judge, who was angered by the outburst, slammed her gavel down.
By the.
Prepositions.
By the.
I know what it is.
Okay, verbs.
Slam.
Who slammed her gavel down? Who was angered? What's the subject? Who? Subordinate clause.
Who? None.
Who was angered by the outburst? Main clause. Remember, this is the little bracket sentence.
Oh, they suck. I don't know anything anymore. Is it confusing how confused?
Lines are so horrible.
Yes.
I hate how messy the
Good
paper is.
penmanship really helps these worksheets look better.
Oh
Yeah.
I don't got
Which
that.
I
Or
don't have.
tidiness.
Do we
It
have
does
to
not
draw
look
a
good.
V?
Looks
Or
like
just
do we
an
have to
arrow?
do that?
Care less.
A V.
No.
I just
We're
draw
gonna-
X.
We're gonna keep working on it together here. Okay, let's do 8. When we arrived at the hotel, we discovered that our reservation had been canceled.
Had been canceled. Had been canceled.
At
Okay,
the
prepositions.
hotel. At the hotel.
Wait, there's 2. There's 2 certain.
Verbs.
Arrive.
Arrived and
Discovered.
discovered.
Okay, so we have arrived, discovered,
We and we.
had been canceled. There are 3 verbs here.
Oh my gosh.
Just because you get to 2, don't give up. So, who arrived?
We.
Who discovered?
We.
What had been canceled?
Our reservation.
Okay, is there a comma fanboy in this sentence?
And
No, there's not. So that means there's going to be 2 circles. What's the first one? When we arrived at the hotel. What's the second one?
We discovered that our reservation was canceled.
our,
What's the second circle?
our reservation.
Where's the subordinator?
That's our reservation.
That.
Boom, baby.
THWH, don't forget those. And the main clause, we discovered. Just when you thought you were getting the hang of it.
They do
There's
not.
always more. I never got the hang of
College student.
Okay, I'm going to finish this side, and you're going to compare yours to mine. Ready? So I'm going to teach you a couple tricks here that you're going to learn as you keep going. So one of the things that I do is as soon as I see a subordinator, I start a circle. So I know that though was a subordinator. So I'll just do a quick look. Many stood. So this is a clause. Also, we have comma at the beginning of a sentence, which makes me ask prepositional phrase or subordinator. And it's a subordinate clause. There's only one more verb. Anytime we have something set off in commas, I know that's going to be a subordinate clause. However, you want to make sure there's only one, but there's only one verb, so it has to be. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Now, here's a nice one without commas.
Do you have to go down? I was like, you have to underline.
Okay, I'm going to tell you why you have to do that later. Okay.
You don't have to do the whole like verb thing.
I mean, I would suggest you continue to do that. Do I have to do it? No.
Well, I kind of do that, but I just don't write the verbs down.
Okay, how'd you do?
I just.
Did you get this one?
Yeah, I got that.
Did you get this one?
That's the one I
No,
did.
that's the one I need.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
you
saw
just
that,
somebody
but
just
I-
asked, do we have to do the verbs? If you would have done the verbs, you probably
Would have figured out that one.
would have seen there were 3. When there are 3 verbs,
Oh.
your only option is 3 separate marks. What's the exception to that rule? Compound predicate.
Oh.
Like, I like to dance and sing because it is fun. I like to dance and sing would be 1 underline. But if it said I like to dance and I like to sing because it is fun, then that would be underline, underline, circle. So do you have to mark every verb? No, I'm not going to make you do that. But when you don't do that is when you are more likely to miss one of the subordinate clauses. Okay? All right, flip it over. I would like you to try 15 through 20 on your own now.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Alright, let's do it.
All right, we're going to do the same thing. I'll mark the answers. Oh, boy. Kind of a bad sentence, but okay. Raise your hand if you got them all right.
So
I didn't get 17.
I mean, this one could be either way here.
Oh,
I'd be
it could
okay
be.
with.
I missed 17.
Okay, what did you do?
I just circled everything after. I didn't.
Yeah.
Is
I accidentally underlined that Giovanni year ago.
So you had all as one. Okay. On your own. Okay. The kitten ran when the children came near it. Prepositions? Maybe near. I don't know. Okay. Verbs?
Ran.
came and came.
Who came? Who ran? Subordinator?
One.
And just to check, the children came near it. Is that a complete sentence? Yes. Chad has quit his job so he can devote more time to his studies. Prepositions? Okay. Subordinators? Or verbs, I guess I should say.
Devote.
Quit. And devote.
Can devote. Okay, who can devote?
He.
He.
Who has quit?
So we can devote more time to it. Study.
Now, I will never give you a question like this on a test that I make, but so is usually what?
It's
A fanboy. Should this have a comma so?
Yeah.
Yes.
Why doesn't it?
That's a subordinating clause.
Tell me what the job of so is as a fanboy.
to like say like I don't know how to
What
explain it, but
happened,
like what happens
like-
next. Or,
Okay.
What he does next.
Like exactly like this?
Yeah.
Yes.
So I agree. I think it should have a comma. I don't think it's a subordinate clause.
So what do? Do we circle anything?
Just ignore it. I don't know. Good thing I wasn't grading that one, right? I think the reason why they're calling it a subordinate clause here is because it's explaining why he quit his job. And there's really no other subordinator that would work there. We couldn't substitute because or since.
Yeah, you'd have to change since you could, like, because he wants to devote more time to his studies.
Yeah, you could revise it. Okay, number 3. If the door is open, you can go right into the house. Prepositions? Verbs?
Is, and then go.
Can go. Who can go?
You.
What is open? Subordinator? If. Players who wish to join the team may sign up today. Verbs? Or
Where.
prepositions?
Is that to join?
Okay. Remember, yeah, okay. Okay, verbs?
Wish and join. Or sign.
Okay.
Or may sign.
Who wishes?
Or who?
Who? Who may sign up today? Players. And this is who wish to join the team.
Oh, wow.
Players may sign up today.
And so why do you have to underline under the circle too?
Okay, because tomorrow the worksheets that we're going to do are going to have 2 underlines and circles. And if you break up this line, it looks like 2 separate underlines.
Oh, okay.
Now, in these sentences today, that doesn't seem like a problem, but it is going to be a problem later. Dr. Thomas returned to the site where we first saw the unusual rocks. Verbs?
Return. Saw.
Who saw?
We.
Who returned?
Dr.
Thomas.
Subordinator?
Where we.
Oh, we're going to skip 6 because we don't do question sentences. Number 7. My cousin who lives in Saudi Arabia came to visit last summer. Let me tell you, if you see who or that in the middle of a sentence, there's a subordinator in there. Okay? So, who lives in Saudi Arabia is the subordinate clause there. If you see who or that in the middle of a sentence, you just as well stop what you're doing and figure out where the circle goes. And the rest of this, my cousin came to visit last summer. Okay. Try 8, 9, and 10.
So this is like all sentences together now?
Okay, number 8. Nine. How'd you do? Got them all?
That's my first 100 hours.
What's 11? Because I figured that one too.
Okay, let's go through a couple more. Mitch lives in the building where the burglary happened. Is there a subordinator?
Where?
Okay. Although we were worried about Jason, we did not want to show our nervousness. Prepositions?
Would be too short nervousness.
So remember, this is one of those fancy infinitive things. You basically know that this kind of all goes together. So The important thing is we're not saying that's a verb. That's the only reason why we're ignoring that. It's not a verb. Okay. So what are the verbs?
Worried
Is want.
yeah, worried. And
Yep.
did not want.
Mm-hmm. Who did not want?
We.
Who was worried? Okay, same subject, but there's still two. Subordinator.
Although.
When the list of winners was announced, Kelly ran to claim her prize. That's a comma too. Wow, something's...
When the list of winners was announced, could be circled. This is WH. Yeah.
And this is a infinitive.
Wait, did you cross out two claims for a prize or just two claims?
Well, okay. What I need you to know about to claim is this is what part of speech? Claim. Verb. But when it has to in front of it, it's disguised as something else. So we're just ignoring it. That's why we cross it out. In fact, you could even do an X instead of cross, just so you don't get confused. Any more? Okay, let's look at the worksheet. Oh my gosh. Okay, we're going to do exactly the same thing we've been doing on the practice, except we're adding a step. On the line, you're going to write CX for complex, S for simple, C for compound. So this worksheet could have, let me back up a step. On the worksheet we just practiced, every sentence was complex, right? We knew that going in. This one has some simple, some compound, and some complex. So this is adding a layer of knowledge to what we just practiced. So not only do you need to decide where the main and subordinate clauses are, you also have to determine what type of sentence it is. Okay, let's do a couple together. 15-year-old Francisco Pizarro listened intently to the old sailor's tales of adventure. Step number 1. To the old sailor's tales. Okay, 15-year-old Francisco Pizarro listened intently. Verbs. That's it. Who listened? There's only one verb. What do you know?
It's simple.
It's simple, so you underline the whole thing. He resolved that one day he too would explore the new world. Prepositions. Verbs.
Resolved and explore. Or
Would explore. Who resolved?
he.
Who would explore?
He.
Subordinator?
That.
That.
Oh, but that one day. It's one day.
So what kind of sentence do we have?
So if it has a subordinator, it's always complex. That's what that. Yeah.
Yep. Over the next few months, Pizarro plotted his escape from his employer. Now, I told you when we have a comma at the beginning, we need to look closely. It's either probably a prepositional phrase or a subordinate clause. So which do we have in this case?
A subordinate clause, right?
Prepositional phrase.
Preposition. Is there any others? So we have Pizarro plotted his escape.
Plotted verb.
There's hardly any words left, so...
Simple.
Number 4, finally his chance arose. I'm okay with you making a blanket guess that that's a simple sentence. Young Pizarro and 2 of his friends set off to find their fortunes in Seville, 150 miles away. Prepositions.
Find that fortune.
Others friends.
To find him.
Okay, of his friends
Too fun.
to find their fortune in Seville.
With Innsville 100 bucks.
Young Pizarro and 2 set off. Now, that looked like a long and complicated sentence, but is it now? Now it's not. Now it's what?
Simple. Okay.
Simple. There's only one verb. Okay. So, your homework is 6 through 24.